Oh my goodness, we're going to get in a hot, sticky mess on this episode of the Business on Purpose podcast, where we're here to help liberate you from that mess, from that chaos of working in your business. Scott Beebe, the host, the head coach, the founder of the Business on Purpose platform. It's another podcast I'm doing in the Detroit airport, and I'm here as a connection point to get to Orlando. I just came from Nigeria, and now headed to Orlando to meet up with a bunch of our ISI guys, Business on Purpose guys, and we're going to PodFest. That's right, it's a conference for nothing but podcasters. And you might be going, guys, podcasting that big? Yes, podcasting is that big. Hence, you're listening to one right now. In fact, we're going to have more details for you here within the next few days, we hope. But we are also building out an Alexa briefing. If you've got an Amazon Alexa, you're going to be able to get briefings, daily briefings on your Amazon Alexa from the Business on Purpose platform starting here in the next few weeks. So stay tuned to that. All right, you and your partner are not seeing eye to eye. You're not on the same page. There's tension, whether it be overt tension or just kind of under the weather tension, or let me go ahead and tell you right away, there is a reason that we don't oft like or go for partnerships. Guys, I'm just going to be honest with you. I can tell you two right now in the last, let's say, 3 years, and we've worked with over 100 small businesses, and many of those are partnerships, and I can tell you two that work really well. Two. That's it. And I can even tell you principles of why they work well. That might be another podcast. But what happens if you and your partner are not seeing eye to eye? Again, pardon the background noise in the airport right now. All right, so here's the deal. I've had 2 phone calls from heroic small business owners in different parts of the United States in the last 4 days. One is in California, the other is in Georgia, and both are running multi-million-dollar companies. One's running about an $8 million company, the other's running about a $10 million company. Both have partnerships. One of the partnerships is 50-50. Another one of the partnerships is more fractional. This particular person owns the majority, but just barely, about 51, 52%. And then the remainder is fragmented among, I think, 3 or 4 different potential owners. And so there's a couple of things. When you and your partner aren't seeing eye to eye, the very first question I always ask, can you buy out or can you be bought out? And you might go, well, Scott, that's awfully drastic, isn't it? Yeah. And guess what else is awfully drastic? A partnership. A business partnership is really, really tough, especially the worst ones I've seen are straight 50-50 partnerships. You know why, guys? Nobody's in charge. Proverbs, where there is no vision, people scatter. Unless there is a unified collective vision between the two parties, you're gonna go in different directions for the rest of your business career. By the way, one of these businesses that called, they've been together over 20 years. Been functioning in silence for 20 years. Been in chaos, in silence for over 20 years. And they're doing about $8 million of revenue. And they said by December 31st, there's no cash. $8 million in revenue and there's no cash at the end of the year. Why? Well, they did this, but they did that. And partnerships are a struggle. So what do you do when you don't see eye to eye? Guys, I know I sound like a broken record on this. You have got to create a vision story, and you've got to do it collectively with the owners of the group. The other thing you need to do is define what type of ownership are the people there. Some people are executive owners, meaning they're involved in the day-to-day of the business. Other people are simply equity owners. That's it. They just maybe put up some money, or because of their expertise, you give them a cut of the business, or whatever that might be. And so we've got to identify what type of ownership is this, and then we've got to draw a big, firm, fat line between ownership and executive leadership. Ownership and executive leadership. Just because you're their owner doesn't mean you're the CEO. Just because you're the owner doesn't mean you're the CFO, the COO, the CMO, the CTO, the CIO. Under the org structure, you've got to, people, when we get to org chart in step 2 of the 4 steps to business freedom, people kind of roll their eyes and go, Scott, come on now. I mean, we've done a lot of this. We've done the vision stuff. We've done the org chart stuff. I was a part of a big company, blah, blah, blah. Well, there's a reason that we do that stuff. But the stuff only works if you use it. I can guarantee you this, an org chart will never bring clarity to an ownership structure if it's never looked at, ever. But if you're shrewd enough not only to build the org chart, but also to review it on a regular basis, guess what's going to happen? Clarity will result. Clarity will result because it's wise to sit down structurally from way above and look down on the business. That's wise. Remember my buddy John Wigington, walk in wisdom and peace will flourish. What we need in a business partnership is we need peace. That's what we're going after, is unity within the partnership. Well, the only way to get unity within the partnership is if there's wisdom present. Walk in wisdom, peace will flourish. And so a step of wisdom is to write down your vision story together. Well, Scott, they won't do that. They don't see the need in that. Then go back to my first question. Can you buy them out or can they buy you out? Yeah, Scott, I know what you keep saying that, but it's awfully, yes. I keep saying it because it's true. You may need to get bought out of the business. You may need to offer to buy them out of the business, even if it's at a premium. Now, don't do it unless you're willing to put in the effort on something like the 4 Steps to Business Freedom. Now, if you'll do that, it's a game changer. But if you won't do that, then you may need to ask if you can get bought out of the business. But the reality is, if you're not willing to sit down and do the hard work of reconciliatory discussion with your co-owner, starting with your vision story, moving from there to your org structures, your job roles, we've got to know if you're on the same page, because if you're not, you'll scatter. It's fissures. You'll be completely divided. And you've heard the old statement, kingdom divided against itself. There's no hope. It's going to fall. And I don't want to tell you that your partnership is hopeless, but I will tell you this. It's what I said before. It's an uphill battle, and unless you're willing to have the conversation, to sit down and say something like this, hey, partner, I want to have a tough conversation about the future of our business. And that's it, like straight out of your mouth. I want to have a tough conversation about the future of our business, and here's what I would like to discuss. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then have the discussion. Don't hem-haw. Stop beating around the bush. It's not helping you, and it's certainly not helping the stakeholders of the business, your family, your employees, your customers, your vendors, your town. Everybody who's got a stake in your business, it doesn't help them when you're when you live in a world of ambiguity. Have the tough conversation. Have a reasonable conversation and start with your business. mybusinessonpurpose.com/vision. Hey, listen, if you need some help because of a tough partnership, let us know. Go to 4stepstobusinessfreedom.com. You can fill out the form there, and if we can serve you in any way, we would love to be able to do that. At minimum, we're going to hop on the phone for about 30 to 60 minutes. And what we promise to do, no strings attached, is we will give you a rock solid, probably the most powerful coaching hour you've ever had. So test us out on it, and we'll see you next time right here on the Business on Purpose podcast.